Hello and welcome to Climate Fact File, your go-to program for the clear insights and actionable solutions on climate change and its impact on our world. I am Onyekwere, and I'll be your host and guide on this journey to understanding the challenges and, of course, the opportunities we have to create for a sustainable future. Together, we'll be unpacking, some of the issues around climate change today. And interestingly, this is the first edition after the COP here on People's 105.5 FM Abuja. And like I always say, climate change is not just a challenge. It's also an opportunity for us to rethink how we live, how we work, and of course, how we can grow effectively. So today we're having a conversation focused on financing climate for food security in Africa. What must happen after the COP? So just a few days ago, the global community, gathered at COP30 in Belém, Brazil, a summit that reminded us of both the urgency and the opportunity before Africa. From negotiations, to side events, one message was clear. Africa cannot achieve issues such as food security without unlocking or probably accelerating climate finance that genuinely, reaches its farmers, innovators, and frontline communities. And so today we stand in the immediate aftermath of COP30, not just reflecting on what was discussed, but confronting the real issues. What must happen next? So how do we move from pledges to practical financing, from commitments to action, from global declarations to real investment, and bringing this investment or this talk down to Africa and even Nigeria, right? So to answer us or to help us answer this and of course progress, it is an honor to have with us Dr. Paul Ablo, who is a leading voice in sustainability and climate finance, and of course, green investment in Africa. He is the CEO of Ecologistics Investments, and we integrated services actually, and he is an active participant. He was an active participant at the COP30, and of course, he also led a climate finance dialogue, a side event in, at COP30 there in Brazil, Belém. It's great to have you in the studio, sir. How are you doing today?
Thank you very much, Ife, for having me. This wonderful radio station, the People's 105.5 FM. And I hear you say it's all about you. So
definitely.
Today is going to be all about climate change.
That's right.
And I think COP30 was good. Welcome back to, I saw you at COP30.
Thank you too. I saw you too.
Beautiful.
Thank you. All right, so right about now, you can actually join the conversation. We are at People's 105.5 FM Abuja on social media spaces. And of course, it's going to get to that point where we'll open the phone lines and WhatsApp. If you want to contribute to the conversation, you can do well to join us on the conversation. And on X, that's Twitter, I am at Ife Inspires on X. All right about now, we'll go on a short break. And when we come back, we'll go straight into Climate Countdown. We'll be right back.
Tune in, stay aware. It's time to show we care for our earth, our home, our chance to change our attitude towards our environment. Join us on Climate Fact File, where hope is in range. This Wednesday from 11 a.m. only on the People's 105.5 FM, Abuja.
It's time to care. Indeed, it's time to care about our planet and the earth we all share. Climate Fact File has the key to build a world that is completely green and free. Climate Fact File has taken a stand to learn the truth, protect the land, deal with the rising seas, ensuring cleaner skies, clean energy, and turning darkness into light. Climate Fact File is your one-stop shop for everything climate, including environment, waste and waste disposal, indiscriminate use of plastics, activities of oil and gas companies, gas emission, pollution, land management, rising sea levels, bush burning, flooding, desertification, and more. This is a call to action as every voice matters to save the earth. It's in your hands and it's in my hands. Climate Fact File is for a brighter, greener and a better future. Let's keep it alive. Join me, Ifi Onyekwere, every Wednesday from 11 a.m. on People's 105.5 FM. Climate Fact File remains our present reality. People's 105.5 FM is all about you.
Welcome back. This is Climate Fact File here on People's 105.5 FM Abuja, and we are looking at climate finance for food security in Africa. We have Dr. Paul Ablo in the studio here with us, who is the CEO, Ecologistics Integrated Services. And right about now, it's time for Climate Countdown. Universities unite to strengthen Nigeria's agri-food value chains. Kano government commends UN habitat support for displaced persons and urban resilience. COP30 ends with voluntary measures but no fossil fuel roadmaps. The Faculty of Agriculture, Alex Akweme Federal University, Ndufu Elike Ikwo, Ebonyi State, in collaboration with Federal University of Technology, FUTMINA, held a 2-day EU-funded conference on agri-food value chain management aimed at advancing resilient and competitive food systems in Nigeria. The event, convened under the EU Erasmus Plus Chain Project, brought together experts, policymakers, and stakeholders from academia, industry, and civil society. Speakers including Professor Robert Onyekwere and Professor Saweda Liverpool Tassier, who emphasized research-driven innovation, MSME-led value chain transformation, and strengthened collaboration across sectors. The conference also featured goodwill messages and notable contributions from agricultural leaders and institutions across the country. The Kano State government has praised UN Habitat for its technical support for improving shelters, settlements, and basic services for displaced and vulnerable communities. Speaking at the opening of a 3-day EU-funded workshop on durable solutions, Commissioner Adamu Aliyu Kabia highlighted the ongoing collaborations aimed at building inclusive and resilient cities. Officials noted that Kano's humanitarian needs are driven by rapid population growth, climate impacts, poverty, and the influx of displaced persons from neighboring states. The workshop brought together stakeholders to assess existing gaps, strengthen partnerships, and design responsive strategies for sustainable community development. The COP30 Climate Summit in Belém wrapped up with voluntary actions under the Global Material Package but did not secure agreement on fossil fuel phase-out or a deforestation roadmap, reflecting deep divisions among more than 100 nations. Despite alarming scientific projections of up to 2.8 degrees Celsius warming, the final text omitted a reference to coal, oil, or gas, while only incremental gains were recorded in health adaptation, including the first acknowledgement of health benefits from emission cuts. Efforts by over 80 countries to push for a fossil fuel transition roadmap and more than 90 nations to advance a deforestation plan stalled. Report says this contentious outcome places added pressure on Brazil's COP presidency to rally broader support ahead of COP31 in Turkey by 2026. And that's it on Climate Countdown. Our guest, Dr. Ablo, might want to react to any of the news that catches his attention.
Thank you very much, Ife. This is a whole lot of news that you read out this morning.
Thank you.
We will attempt to address a few of them. One of them that catches my attention is Kano State and what the EU is doing there by providing technical support for the IDPs through for shelters. But I'll suggest that I did a program called IDPs Beyond Food and Shelter. So beyond food and shelter is what is quite evident. Sustainability.
That's right.
How do we create sustainability? And what we need to do with sustainability is to see how you can create livelihoods for the people. And the first port of call for livelihoods, it's food and food security. So I will suggest that in addition to that, we create platforms and initiatives that will address food security, leveraging this great number of people we have in the IDP camps who are apparently not employed. So what I think should be done to create sustainability in what the EU is already doing is to create a community farms for the people and provide support and provide technology so that they will grow food and grow food beyond what they will consume, but to create a sustainable means of livelihoods for the people. So that's one of them. The collaboration with the universities is good. You cannot run climate change issues in isolation.
That's
you
right.
Need collaborations to make this work. And it's good to know that institutions, universities are coming together to collaborate to look at innovation. But I will also add that we need to move the innovation to projects, to actionable initiatives that will address projects. So that is quite vital. Of course, they said something about responsive strategies. So
yes.
I'm offering my own bit to the responsible strategies for the universities. Now, coming to COP30, yes, there were some gaps with setting a pathway or timeline to end the use of fossil fuel, and nothing was said about coal. But there are 5 major takeaways from COP30 that are quite encouraging.
Great.
There's a plan to scale up climate finance to $1.3 trillion by 2035 annually. So you'll find that embedded in those finance mitigation and adaptation activities, including our own darling food security.
That's right.
Agriculture.
Agriculture, yeah.
And then there was also an agreement for adaptation, to boost adaptation, which means to create funds, part of these funds that will be used to address the impacts of climate change, especially for vulnerable groups and countries like developing countries, of course, which Nigeria happens to be one of them. And then the issue of loss and damage fund was also addressed. We need to really look at the areas that pinch us more in Africa. So that was quite encouraging. And then they created a platform for new initiatives. So we can find a way to talk in some of the areas that we were expecting results from COP30 under new initiatives, you know. And then they added something also that was quite interesting. They added a climate disinformation, where there's a whole lot of climate disinformation going on. And I was glad to see that they decided to address it, where people will need to know exactly what is happening in the climate change space.
Yes.
And when the wrong information is passed about climate change, we need to make effort beyond awareness and advocacy to tackle it and say, no, this is wrong, this is not what we mean, you know. So there's something good to go with from there. So I think I've addressed 3 major areas of the news items.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ablo. All right, if you're listening to us, this is People's 105.5 FM Abuja, and you're listening to Climate Fact File here. And the topic is climate finance for food security in Africa. What must happen after the conference of parties that was held in Belém, Brazil? And of course, Dr. Ablo highlighted actionable strategies. I think that will be the highlight of our conversation, talking about climate finance for food security in Africa. We'll go on a break now, and when we return, we'll begin the conversation. If you are someone who is passionate about Africa, if you are passionate about Nigeria, if you're passionate about nature, environment, I think it's time to pay attention, because we have one of the best in the studio right now. Or we have the best in the studio right now, actually. So he's, when I was reading, I actually read about you before, So I was reading about you and I saw, he has over 20 years experience in these same climate issues, and that's really amazing. So I believe there is a whole lot that Dr. Ablo will be giving to us. If you are in the food space also, and you think that there is a whole lot you are not aware of, I think it's time to pay attention. And I always say this, business owners, I think this is a very critical time where we need to start incorporating some of these sustainability measures and information into our business to make it not just a local business but a global one at that. So let's go on this break, and when we return, we'll continue the conversation.
The People's 105.5 FM brings to you the Development Report. Development Report dissects current development issues, sustainable development goals, climate change, women and health, water environment, human progress, and societal well-being with experts from different fields. Development Report showcases impactful projects and initiatives aimed at fostering positive change. Development Report comes to you on the People's 105.5 FM Abuja every Saturday from 12:15 p.m. to 1 p.m. You can also join the program via telephone 0911 222 1055 or send us a WhatsApp message on 0911 112 1055. Development Report towards collective action in support of sustainable development. People's 105.5 FM. It's all about you.
Get the facts. Make an impact. Climate Fact File brings you the truth about our changing world. Tune in on the People's 105.5 FM, Abuja, and stay informed.
It's time to care. Indeed, it's time to care about our planet and the earth we all share. Climate Fact File has the key to build a world that is completely green and free. Climate Fact File has taken a stand to learn the truth, protect the land, deal with the rising seas, ensuring cleaner skies, clean energy, and turning darkness into light. Climate Fact File is your one-stop shop for everything climate, including environment, waste and waste disposal, indiscriminate use of plastics, activities of oil and gas companies, gas emission, pollution, land management, rising sea levels, bush burning, flooding, desertification, and more. This is a call to action, as every voice matters to save the earth. It's in your hands and it's in my hands. Climate Fact File is for a brighter, greener, and a better future. Let's keep it alive. Join me, Onyekwere, every Wednesday from 11 a.m. on People's 105.5 FM. Climate Fact File remains our present reality. People's 105.5 FM is all about you.
All right, welcome. This is Climate Fact File here on People's 105.5 FM Abuja. and we are discussing climate finance for food security in Africa. What must happen next after COP? We have Dr. Paul Ablo here in the studio with us, the CEO, Ecologistics Integrated Services. Great to have you in the studio again. All right, let's go straight into the conversation. Now, looking at the aftermath of COP30, you mentioned some key factors that, were the highlight of the COP30. What would you say were the most significant takeaways for Africa regarding climate finance, especially for food security and agricultural resilience?
Again, thank you, Ife. I would like us to rephrase that a little bit.
Okay.
So when we talk about food security, at food security action, it's not just to talk food security. So when you put food security action, it shows that you are prepared for work.
Actionable strategies.
You just don't want to talk. You want to see what could be done. So coming back from COP30, there were a lot of interesting things on food security action at COP30. I will like us to look at some of them. One of the basic resolutions that was adopted was a comprehensive and integrated, it is called the Brasilia Food Systems Accord, which means, again, you see that at every COP, they want to build up on food security systems. Or food security action. So that accord was similar to what was done at COP28 at UAE, and it formally recognized food systems as central to climate action. So that has been established, and as we go on, I'll tell you how we can leverage this accord to assess additional climate finance for food security action in Africa. One of the other things that happened was that climate finance mobilization, and accessibility for agriculture was also discussed. As a matter of fact, a resolution was reached to make a commitment to significantly support food security action financially. So
is it for developing countries or generally?
However, you need to key in.
That's right.
Yes, and there's more action for developing countries because of the adaptation issues, due to climate impacts, and of course the mitigation aspects that create opportunities for accessing additional finance, as you will see. There was also an adaptation and resilience in food systems, which we already looked at in the news that you talked about. That is also there. Like I said, as we go on, we'll see how we can leverage some of these resolutions that we have reached. And then there was a mitigation in agriculture and land use. Now, when you see mitigation, you know that they are creating opportunities.
That's
see mitigation as opportunities, because mitigation cannot be treated in isolation, which is exactly what has been happening in Africa. We need to engage MRV. You remember that COP30 when we are emphatic about the MRVs. So if you are engaging mitigation activities in agriculture, you need to do the measurement, reporting and verification to be able to translate those activities into quantifiable carbon emission savings that can now be traded in the carbon market and becomes an extra income stream for those in the agricultural and agricultural value chains. So 2-3 more things. There was an emphasis on research and innovation and knowledge sharing, which our investors are already doing as per the news that you shared with us. And then, but there's this thing that was very critical, and I'm glad that it was addressed: the equity, inclusion, and human rights in agricultural climate action. The women, I can see you smiling. The women have to be involved.
That's right.
And they have to be trained, they need the capacity to migrate from labor-intensive agriculture to innovative agriculture.
Smart, great.
Or you want to call it climate-smart agriculture?
Exactly.
It's just that I continuously get worried about the labor-intensive nature of agriculture,
yes,
especially on the women and the children.
Yeah,
there are innovations that are supposed to make this quite easier.
Yeah.
And then finally, there was a focus on implementation and accountability. Now, this is linked to climate finance. If you want to assess money, you must show that you will implement it, when the funds are given to you, and you must be accountable to the money. That is a major gap that is existing here. So these 7 items were resolved, in the agri and the food sector. So the good thing is that we can expand this and see how we can leverage these to create initiatives and platforms that will support climate finance for food security action in Africa.
Great. When you mentioned, implementation, I think this was even going to be the basis of the next question, because right there at the COP, for side events, let me not even go to negotiation, but for the side events first, we had people, making pledges. You had individuals, organizations, making pledges. Now, this necessarily doesn't have to be in the food security action aspect right now, but we had people, making pledges. It might come out of excitement or, at the spur of the moment, we're going to commit to this and that. Now, there's often a struggle with implementation. Now, what must happen for we to ensure that these pledges, is turned into accessible and timely, action, especially in the aspect of food security action? I like the fact that you actually added action to it. So what should we do now to ensure that pledges that were made at the COP, or organizations that actually, gave their word to say, oh, we are doing this, we are trying to relieve the burdens on, this kind of people, right? How do we ensure that these pledges are really implemented?
All right, thank you so much. Yes, a lot of pledges were made, and beyond pledges, commitments.
That's right.
And that is established, pledges and commitments. However, there are conditions to assess those pledges and commitments. And, at COP one of our first side events had to do with, so a lot of people talking about pledges are made, commitments are made, but Africa is not assessing those at scale. And some were even propounding some conspiracy theories and things like that. And, it was quite interesting. I guess you were there at that side event.
Yes.
And my perspective is quite different. Somebody is willing to assist you financially, and there are laid processes and conditions for you to assess it. If you don't meet those processes, the criteria, and then you go back and you claim that the processes were made difficult for you to assess the money, that things are difficult does not mean that they cannot be done. It just means that you have to put in a little extra effort.
Great.
So
True.
What we identified at some of those meetings is that there is a structural deficit in the sense that, and that structural deficit comes from capacity. One, do we in Africa have enough capacity to even understand the conditions that are attached to those pledges and commitments.
Wow.
So you need to understand it first. Because you can only cooperate with what you understand.
Exactly.
Number two, are there institutional capacity for us to be able to access those funds? Because in my work as a climate finance investment specialist, there are conditions that are laid down. They must see how you're spending your money first before they can entrust you with their money. And then they must see how you have spent their money with credible proof, quantifiable proof, and then they can scale up and give you more. So many African nations and organizations have actually assessed a little, but they couldn't even show credible proof that the funds were judiciously utilized. So what I propounded at the side events is that we need to go back and strengthen our capacity, which is called readiness. You need to develop your readiness programs to be able to assess the funds, readiness programs to be able to implement. And then you need also to show up your readiness program for monitoring and evaluation. But it doesn't end at monitoring and evaluation. We added learning to it. So it's not M&E anymore, it's MEL. At the end of monitoring and evaluation, you need to sit back and see what have we learned from on the process. When we monitored the project, we identified that there were a few gaps, things we didn't do well. When we also evaluated, we found that the outcomes were not met fully because of the issues that we identified during the monitoring stage. So that becomes your learning, and then at your next project, when you want to scale up, you will impute your learning into the process so that the mistakes don't repeat themselves again. So the issue is not that the funds are not there. The funds are there. I'll give you an example. At COP27 for food security action, at COP27, that was $8 billion additionally was added to food security. At COP28 in Dubai, it was raised to 17 billion. Just for one section alone, Aim for Climate, with 600 partners contributing to this fund. And at COP29 in Baku, Azerbaijan, it was scaled up again to $29.2 billion. So they keep adding, the funds are there. But you must be ready.
To be able to.
You must be ready to assess it. You know, readiness is the new form of partnership.
That's true.
If you want to come into a partnership, you must be ready.
So I think this actually calls for capacity building. Yeah, because now that, we're beginning to see some of the highlights, some of the funding that, it's available. Like yesterday, I was at the carbon market training organized by European Union. I just had basic knowledge, right? Yeah, but I think, with what I've learned from, the conversations yesterday and the practical session, I could say, okay, I may want to do one or two things in this space. So I think, don't you think capacity building will really help us in this part of the world? Now, beyond Africa, Nigeria as, a country.
Well, capacity building is a principal thing. You must understand it. You must know it. You must understand it. Now, you talked about the carbon market. So many people don't understand how the carbon market works.
That's right.
We have so many mitigation activities that are going on. They are not recorded. They are not measured. And we don't understand that those processes actually help you to benefit from those mitigation activities. So you decide to install solar in this beautiful complex of yours so that you don't have to use generator. By so doing, you will reduce the emission that goes into the atmosphere that results to global warming and climate change. And you're happy you've done it. But that effort needs to be rewarded.
Rewarded, yes.
So a whole lot of that is going on because we do not understand it. So I agree with you absolutely that there is some need for capacity building.
Amazing. I'm already, getting very excited on this conversation, but we need to go on a break now. And when we return, we will continue the conversation. Remember, this is Climate Fact File, and we are discussing climate finance for food security action in Africa. We'll be right back.
Osalobua.
Baba,
Make you help me, Make I dey shine my eyes. Make my enemies no see me, Even when I dey sleep, make I no lose guard, Baba, in short, just dey help me stay alert. As Airtel, they alert me anytime Yahoo people send spam message to take scam me,
At Airtel, we have taken proactive steps to keep you safe from every spam activity with Airtel News Spam Alert service. Powered by AI, it scans text in real time with no app or setup needed. Airtel, a reason to imagine.
The land is green, it's green, oh, oh. The land is green, it's green, can't you see? I can see all the harvest is ready, 'cause he told me so. It's green and it's all mine. As the clouds go gray, the thunder roars and the earth sings. Season's just beginning. Sunlight it hides as the clouds make way for the pouring of my blessings. I will not be afraid. I see it now, I understand, I know. So I embrace it, dance. In the rain, it's for my seed to grow. For every prayer and every seed I've sown, Lord of the harvest knows I'm reaping back 100-fold. The land is green, it's green, oh, oh. The land is green, it's green, can't you see? The harvest is ready, 'cause the Lord of the harvest told me so. It's green for me. It's green for me. Standing alone can be a heavy load, but my vows I won't be breaking. Though my heart is aching, I got a word and I won't let go. It's your will I'm seeking, so I keep on believing. I see it now, I understand, I know. So I embrace it, dance. Once again, it's time for me to grow. For every prayer and every tear I've sown, Lord of the harvest knows I'm reaping joy 100-fold. The land is green, it's green, oh, oh. The land is green, it's green, can't you see? The harvest is ready, 'cause the Lord of the harvest told me so. It's green for me. I thought it was over, thought you were done with me, but we're just beginning. Whoa, my life is a journey. I will walk with you, I will go where you want me to. Yes, I will go. Come on. Yeah.
right, welcome back. This is Climate Fact File here on People's 105.5 FM Abuja. We are discussing climate finance for food security action in Africa. What must happen after COP30? Well, if you want to join the conversation, if you want to, contribute to the conversation going on here in the studio, you can actually send your messages on WhatsApp. The number to send your messages on WhatsApp is 0911 112 1055. We'll just be taking WhatsApp messages. You can send your WhatsApp messages to 0911 112 1055. And of course, I'm going to be reading your messages. All right. We still have Dr. Paul Ablo in the studio here with us, the CEO, Ecologistics Integrated Services, and he's doing justice to food security. So I actually wrote food security in Africa, but he has actually, redefined it. Now it's food security action, because of course we're looking at the real action. Yes. And not just the talk, right? Yeah. All right. Let's continue the conversation now. I know you actually had a side event on climate finance. Would you say that there are gaps you've observed in global financing frameworks and the real needs of African food system?
No, I don't see gaps.
Okay.
The major gap there, was identified by several groups and side events, is that Africa is not assessing climate finance for food security action at scale. And we were able to look at those gaps and identify that the principal driver of the gap that we are looking at is lack of capacity. So that was identified. And interestingly enough, COP30 addressed most of those issues. So now it's left for us to see how we can look at the roadmaps that we have created at COP30 and see how we can distill them to local levels and make it work for us. One of the interesting things that I saw was that there was an agreement to simplify the process. So those of us in Africa that are crying that the process is too stringent, we can get a relief right now that the process is going to be simplified. That's a good one. And then if I may take you through some of the processes and show you how we can take advantages of the laid out processes. First of all, let's look at the Brasilia Food Systems Accord. The essence of that accord is for nations to develop what is called a high-level initiatives where they can carry out discussions on food security action in their zones. But there was a central one that was created, which was called the High-Level Global Food Systems Dialogue Platform. So what I'll suggest is this. Look at that model and create an African Food Systems Accord, Nigerian Food Systems Accord.
Amazing.
And what we will now do is that we look at the model for the Global Food Systems Dialogue Platform. The dialogue is okay, but we need to do more of action. But it needs to start from the dialogue, from the blueprints. And then we leverage that and look at a continuous policy alignment. Because it was identified that even though the policies are there, most of the policies are not aligned with the greater policies or the global policies. So we need to look at that alignment, and then we need to engage in shared implementation strategies beyond COP30. So if you have implementation strategies that are different, you need to share your experience. Back to what we talked about, collaboration. Then they also specified the creation of a dedicated funding window for agriculture.
Amazing.
At COP30. It's there. So one of the things that I think we should do at a continent level or at the national level, even as subnational entities, even local governments. Local governments are very important in the climate action. You know that?
Yes.
So one of the things I think will help is to create dedicated funding windows for food security at several levels.
Can we take this call?
Sure.
Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Can you hear us? All right. Sorry. You can actually send your messages on WhatsApp to 0911 112 1055, and we'll be glad to hear from you. You can call us on 0911 222 1055, but of course you need to be snappy, because of course we have lots of information to get from Dr. Ablo. And then, all right, we have the call here. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. I honestly cannot hear you. Do send your messages on WhatsApp to 0911 112 1055. Send your messages to 0911 112 1055. And I'll read. Hello, good morning.
If you're Onyekwere,
oh, good morning. Good morning. How are you doing? Do you want to respond to any of the messages or the conversation?
Yes,
rather?
I want to respond. I want to respond. If you're Onyekwere, my name is Obioma Benson.
All right, well, with you. Hello. All right, so I'm trying to manage time because we already are out of time right now. If you have your messages, you can send them on WhatsApp 0911 112 1055. And on X, I am at Ife Inspires on X, and I would follow up the conversation. On social media, we are at People's 105.5 FM Abuja. All right, let's continue.
All right. One of the most critical things which is aligned to what we've been talking about all this while is, this is part of my recommendation.
Okay.
Is to launch a climate finance readiness for agri initiatives in Nigeria at the federal level, at the state level, at the local government level. Let me say it again. Climate finance readiness for agricultural initiatives. What that platform is going to create is to build capacity. Again, we're back to that capacity gap.
Yes.
And then it needs to look at the financial management in the sector. How do you manage your own financial allocations from the federal, from the state, or the local government for agri? Because that's going to be required if you want to access international climate finance. You need to see how you manage that. Then they need to, of course, link to this is your fiduciary compliance. How are you complying? Then there are a few other things that they will need to look at. Equity, inclusion, you given the loans for agriculture to men alone, you don't give to women. You including vulnerable and the rest of it. You need to show that your system is trustworthy. So when you come trustworthy, you won't have need to say, trust me.
That's right.
So that is what this readiness platform is going to do.
Dr. Ablo, I'm trying to manage time right now, but there's something I really want us to actually focus on right now as we're rounding off. You have a lot to give, and you're an expert And of course, I cannot point out some of the commitments, or I don't know if you gave some commitments at the COP, but one of the things I know that I should be expecting from you is, or I am expecting is, you see that capacity building we're talking about, you need to pour on us, the younger ones, right? Okay. So when are you having that training? That's what I want to hear. When are you having this training? Because there are lots of young people out there who are saying there are no jobs, there are no, but these are opportunities. Every time there are global events, there are always opportunities for people to tap into, right? So what is there any structure you're actually building? Is it something you're considering, for impacting the young? And I'm really talking about myself. I don't know about others, but I know that a lot of people are out there wanting to get value from great people like you. Yes,
I know what's happening here. If you were listening to a conversation at COP30 after the side events, where we decided that we need to create a platform.
Amazing.
Where without any cost to the young people.
Amazing.
We are on a weekly basis. You hear that? You want the world to hear that?
Of course.
We can open the forum for the young people.
Great.
Like you said, there are no jobs because the young people don't have the capacity and they are looking the wrong way.
Yes.
The global economy is shifting to green economy.
That's right.
And young people don't have the capacity to engage.
Exactly.
But our young people are very smart.
True.
So all you need is to show them how it is done.
That's right.
There are so much opportunities in developing bankable proposals.
That's right.
A lot of money for them. There are so much opportunities to develop different NGOs and things that will help them access money. So I'll throw it at you, Ife. Let's get in a partnership.
Great.
With the People's 105.5 FM.
Amazing.
We can talk about that right now after this event. Great. And we'll create a partnership where on a weekly basis we will open the forum for the young people and really break this down. They will understand it. I know them. They are smart and they will engage. There was a time I said, look, why not train 1,000 young Nigerians on how to develop bankable proposals across sectors, for assessing international climate finance and see what happens. So you can't blame them if you don't train them.
That's right.
That's so that's going to happen.
Great. Fortunately, unfortunately, I don't know how we've actually gotten to 11:55, and very soon Mr. Maddox is going to enter the studio to read the news. But I must say that this conversation has been productive, and the fact that you highlighted young people, because most times when I'm done with this show, someone will text me and say, "Okay, so what's in for us? What's in?"
That's true.
So, and I'm also happy that a lot of the younger population are beginning to see the good sides of the green businesses and all like that, and there is a whole lot to learn, right? We're going to have you again on this show, Dr. Ablo, because we've not even done. This is just a scratch, but we will definitely have you again on this show. Yeah, if you're listening to us, for those of us trying to call, we had a very limited time today because, of course, we had a doctor in the show. So what do you expect? But remember, climate change is not just a future challenge; it's a present reality, and every one of us, we have a role to play in shaping a more sustainable future. Remember, small actions today lead to big changes tomorrow. So let's take what we've learned. And for those of us who are, willing to do something great, please, let's keep our ears down. And whenever we see trainings or capacity building opportunities, please, let's take advantages of opportunities as this, because I have observed that the older generations are, willing to actually pass this knowledge. And the fact that you are going to be doing it for free, that's really amazing. So join us next time for Climate Fact File here on People's 105.5 FM Abuja. I am Ife Onyekwere, and until next time, bye.